Hello there, fellow humans. Today I want to talk about the Skoda T50 because this is a very interesting tier 9 vehicle, and I think tier for tier it's also better than a tier 10. So let's have a look at this one. Now, obviously, first of all, one thing that has to be said is the TVP VTU and the T34-100 are not great. I mean, they're fine, but they're by no means great. They're also not autoloaders, so by the time you get to Skoda, you should have some autoloader experience already if you do choose to go for this line. Now, the armor doesn't exist for most part, and that is because, well, obviously the front plate is very angled, and the pike nose actually doesn't help. It actually is worse because they turn to the side. It gets weaker. So that's a bad thing here. And the side armor and the rear armor doesn't exist whatsoever. You do have some armor on the turret, but most of the time you're going to get penned as well, unless you peek very quickly. And at that point, you don't have much. Now, you do have 8 degrees of gun depletion, which is solid. You also have very good mobility on this vehicle, which does make up for the lack of armor. However, obviously, the more armor a tank has, the more noob-friendly it becomes, obviously, and the less armor it has, the harder it is to play, especially if it's also an autoloader, or an auto-reloader like the Standard B, but maybe we'll talk about that another day. So now, let's get into the battle with the Skoda T50, and as always, don't forget to load calibrated shells for your autoloaders, and also vertical stabilizer and gun laying drive to reduce that aim time, so you have all your shots fully aimed. So this is a tier 10 battle, so let's go and see what we can do here. Ideally, obviously we have 3 light, medium, whatever tanks, and they have 2, so that's an advantage there. Certainly if the Type 61 is indeed awake, which he is, which is great. Okay, now we got a Type T100LT over here, which, I mean, it's a good tank, but it's by no means special. It's just, it gains power by people's inability to aim. And now these two guys don't have a clan either, so I would not expect them to be any competent. And that's just how it goes these days. If someone's not in a clan, if someone doesn't have a camo, the likelihood of them not being a good player is massively higher than if they were. Also, if you see a player underscore, they also tend to not be that good players. But obviously those are always just assumptions rather than actual facts. Not everyone like that is worse, but a lot of them are, compared to the average player. And there's a 57 heavy who's pushing as well. Okay, now gonna reload here. Lost quite a lot of hit points already. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go around the back. Obviously they have a grill, so going this angle here might have a risk to that. But if I'm fast enough around the corner, it should normally be somewhat fine. Just like that. Got one shot off, unfortunately, and there is the grill. So yeah, I did say it, and I did pay for it, so here we are. Now, Standard B shouldn't be a problem. 600 HP, 300 HP now. Just gonna finish that off. Or low roll, so that works as well. And now go back here and reload, and now go and wait for the T100LT to actually spot something, or just simply reload and then unload onto the AMX-50B, who's already spotted here. Now the grill's there. Grill can't shoot me from where he is. Could go for the HE, but that is not reliable enough, so he's now going to YOLO in for no reason. But anyway, grill. Can we get a better angle here? Hopefully I can. There we go. HE is going to work a lot better on the grill, so there we go. But it didn't do any damage. Okay, now 2.5k. That is not great so far. So he could have done a lot better here, especially also on the hit point side. So let's now poke up here. 295 meter, he won't be able to spot me. So let's now unload into the side of his turret and finish that off. 3000 damage. That is somewhat solid. And as you can see, if you know how to position this vehicle, and if you simply sort of play off your team to get spots for you and all those kind of things, then you can do a very good job in this vehicle. However, obviously, you need to know a lot about the maps, a lot about the teams, a lot about the tanks, to be able to extract the full potential out of this vehicle. So here we go into the second game. This time it's a tier 8 one, which is very nice, but this is T49, so that wouldn't be very nice. Because obviously the sides of this vehicle are pretty weak. So let's have a look. Gonna go to the middle here, obviously, and have a look. 8 degrees of gun depression is very solid. Now the tank overall is very solid. However, obviously you need to be a somewhat decent to good player to actually pull this off. So this ain't no IS-6 that you should play, and ideally don't do that either. That's not very favorable if you were to do that. But yeah, I guess he just didn't want to live anymore. Yeah, it's not great. Okay, now some more. Should be a very easy kill here. Boom, getting rid of him. And now the FV, if I do roll properly. No, I just didn't. There we go. And that's a scope in as well. Well, that's unlucky. Okay, now what I would do here is I'm going to go for the Object 704 because he should be relatively easy to clip. Now, the clip damage of 930 is very good. Not as great as the 1200 of the T10, but the 1200's reload is just a lot longer, so like this one is a lot more versatile and more usable, I'd say. While the T10 is just a bit more clumsy in terms of the usage of the gun. Okay, get rid of Löwe. Well, he did shoot me, so he wants to get removed. So let's do that. Now let's reload again. Obviously, it's sort of basically like the Batchat gun at a tier lower, which is very solid. So let's now have a look at the Scorpion G. Should be also clippable. He might shoot me, but then again, I got 1,000 hit points. I don't care. So here we go. Could also ram him if I wanted to. I'm gonna do that just to guarantee the kill. And there we go. Got rid of him. Now 365 HP, which is good enough to survive one regular shot from the AMX, which means I'm going to charge in and try to get some more damage, but that's probably not going to happen. So here we go. 3k damage again, not too bad, and there we go. So as you can see, Skoda T50, very solid vehicle. I can recommend it if you're a good player, if you're interested in something Autoloader. However, I think that the Standard B is a slightly better vehicle overall. Now it is a very good Tier 9 if you know what you're doing. Definitely better than something like an AMX 50 120, or I mean it has the same armor, and also better than a T41. So I do think that the Skoda T50 is a nice little fun tank to play. However, obviously only for skilled players. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.